Do you have a rival that you like to beat, but you don't tell anybody?
Yeah, you bet.
So raise your glass, even though he's not the best, but at least he made the top 5.
Welcome to another edition of Lanai Gossip. I'm here with Lonnie. I'm Commissioner number 5. Today we have Ron.
Hey,
Ron with
hello.
us. Okay, and we're here to talk about sailboat racing. It's sailboat racing, or is it a sailboat club? Kind of tell us what kind of...
It's radio-controlled sailboats.
Okay, and how many people are in this club, would you say?
So our club probably has 30, 32 people, but there are a number of clubs here in the villages. So depending on where you are located within the villages, there's going to be a pond near you to participate in this really fun and exciting hobby. You have to actually have a certificate. You just can't walk up to any pond, throw your boats in, and have a bunch of people running around.
So the one down at Everglades, I've seen the orange balls in the pond.
Yep.
Is that part of your racing process?
Absolutely. The races are just like big boat racing, unless it's a distance race, but like the big boat racing, they're sailing around buoys. And there are a lot of different buoys out in the water. And it's all because the winds are coming from different directions, different days. So you set the course, everyone understands the course, and on your mark, get set, go.
You adjust the course each day right before you race according to the wind.
The winds.
But the buoys stay in there.
And the buoys are out there all the time. So if you're not racing and you just want to come out in the evening and practice, you're more than welcome to go out there and just practice. Yeah, just like with pickleball and pickleball groups or any other activities that are out there, you reserve time. When you get your certificate, you reserve the times and the days that you sail. So you have a set date and time when everyone converges onto the pond and has some fun racing each other. There's no motors. If you take a look at the back, you'll see no propellers whatsoever. These are true sailboats.
Just sailboats. And what happens if
You lose one.
well, what happens if something happens that
falls
tips over or gets stranded out there?
So we had that actually this morning out in Spanish Springs. We were sailing that boat and that type of boat. By the way, everybody sails the same boat.
Oh,
When
okay.
there's a race, everybody's racing the quote-unquote exact same boat.
Oh,
So
okay.
that the skill set isn't so much associated with the design of the boat, but it's designed around how good you are at operating the boat.
So there's all right. So remember Soapbox Derby?
It's soapbox derby.
So
People would cheat.
so
No.
are there little secrets like polishing the bottom of the boat with a certain type of wax or anything like that?
There are some little things like that that you can do. The type of lines that you use, you can see that there's a lot of little lines everywhere
Yeah.
on the boats. And some of them are thinner and they slide through the fittings faster. So depending on some of those attributes, you might get a little bit more out of the boat. But it truly is associated with how well you tuned the boat. Yeah. So we take whatever we can from the industry, and where you can find little pieces and parts, like right here, that looks like it's from a fishing boat. I mean, from a fishing hardware.
Like a leader or
Yeah,
something?
right. So there's little things like that we use over here. But most of the time, you're just trying to find the lightest, strongest piece of hardware that you possibly
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
I was hoping to find a big boat opportunity to sail, and my realtor said, "Oh, you like boats? Well, you should check out one of the clubs for radio control." And I thought, nah, no way. And I gave it a shot, and 10 minutes later, I'm in love. Next.
So if I'm new and moving to the villages or thinking about moving to the villages or just move to the villages, any of those, how does someone find these clubs? Are they in those newspapers at all that?
They absolutely are in the papers. If you look at those 4 locations that I mentioned, you'll see that they have the pond reserved and what day and time that the pond is reserved. If you live near one of those ponds, definitely go out there And I guarantee you, if you show any interest whatsoever, you're going to end up with one of these controllers in your hands with a guy telling you, okay, do this. And before you know it, you're going to be out there sailing.
No kidding.
Everybody is very positive.
Would this operate all your boats, or do you have to have a separate one for each boat?
That's a really good question. In theory, so that's the transmitter right there.
Okay.
That transmitter, in theory, will handle a number of different boats, but I do it a little different. I have one transmitter per boat. And I do that because if that breaks and it runs all my boats, then I'm out of luck.
So you have one of these for every. So you have 4
I
because you
do.
said you had 4 boats.
I do.
And the wife knows about all 4 of them?
I'm afraid she does.
Did we just out you?
You just outed him.
She's watching right now, digging through my toys.
Well, what does this cost to get into?
So a boat like that, the red one over there, is about $400 if you really want to do it right. A transmitter, batteries. They do run on batteries, and and I go with the rechargeable batteries. It's about $400, and then my big boat, that's getting close to $800.
You said Treasure. Do they charge money to be in this club?
So Everglades doesn't charge anything. They just look for donations when they need to buy stuff.
Oh.
But the group in Ashland Pond and Lake Miramar in Spanish Springs, they have a formal dues.
And
It's nothing. It's $25 a year. And every once in a while we'll have a work day. We'll throw a boat in a rowboat into the water and go out and maintain the buoys because they get beat up, especially with the power boats. I'm not outing the power boats, but they come flying in and they'll puncture a buoy and down it goes. And
Oh, so
we have-
you guys actually do that yourselves. The Villages doesn't do any of that for you.
No, they don't do that for you.
Wow,
Right.
interesting. So do you have a sergeant at arms that watches for gators?
No.
Florida, Ron. It's Florida.
So this is really a bizarre story, and it was even in the news out of Orlando. A lady took a picture of this taking place. This guy was in last place, and believe it or not, a gator kept pushing it and pushing his boat along, and he ended up winning the race. And it was like it was a trained gator. It was strange.
Well, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I assume there's some gentleman's actions that
Corinthian
may
spirit.
or may not take place, like boat bumping and things like that.
Yeah,
But it's going to happen occasionally, right?
It
Accidentally?
does happen. So just like in big boats, the rules of engagement for sailing, it's the same with the radio control boats.
Yeah.
So I have a book there. So this is
didn't write it.
I did not write it, but one of the members of the club in Lake Miramar and
Oh, wow. They wrote it.
Ashland Pond wrote it. His name is Don Hain. Great guy. He wrote this excellent book. It's everything you ever wanted to know about radio control sailboat racing.
A person that's trying to get into it, just show up, look in the newspaper, show up, and just start talking.
Just start talking, and before you know it, you're going to end up with one of the controllers in your hand in a boat pointed out. You're sailing that boat, and they'll guide you along and just give you the feel.
Thank you, Ron,
Thank you, Ron.
for showing up and bringing the beers. And
Cheers.
Yeah.
and I think we're going to talk to Ron about cycling.
Yeah.
Because you know,
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh,
because I can't, because they bug me when they're on the cart path. But
Thanks to him, we've got the best league to play in. It's not a boast, just a toast to number 5.